Hello there, my name is Bill Feinberg, and this is episode 9 of LeetReel, where I film myself solving LeetCode coding challenges. Today, I'm actually going to be working on this one right here called Remove Element. I don't think I've ever done this one before. Right, if I click on submissions, yep. So this is the first time I've ever seen this one. It was listed under the easy section, so hopefully I shouldn't have too much time with it since I'm allegedly a senior software engineer, but we'll see what happens. So instead of previously I was using Code Sandbox, I'm going to try doing this in my normal VS Code iTerm kind of editor, just kind of my normal workflow. I want to try using a few more commits as I kind of solve problems, but we'll see how it goes. So I actually already kind of attempted this once, or not attempted it, but I started setting this up and then kind of rewound because I made a mistake when I was filming. So, okay, so I have my branch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a directory. So source, I'll go grab I'm going to use the slug here, make directory. And so we should see this remove element. Cool. So then if I make or touch source remove element readme.md, and then I've just been calling this func.test.typescript. So if we go look in here, cool. I will go add the description. Okay, looks like it's going to have a custom judge. Examples. Example 1. Example 2. So we don't have an example 3, so constraints. So right now I'm just doing the format. Okay, so let's kind of go over this problem before we get started. So remove element. Given an integer array nums and an integer val, remove all occurrences of val and nums in place. So that's an important requirement. The relative order of the elements may be changed. Since it's impossible to change the length of the array in some languages, you must instead have the result be placed in the first part of the array, nums. More formally, if there are k elements after removing duplicates, then the first k of nums should hold. This seems very familiar. I wonder how it differs from one that I've done previously, but should hold the final result. Does not matter what you leave beyond the first k. Return k after placing. Do not allocate extra memory for another array. You must use by modifying input in place with constant extra memory. Right. So, it doesn't matter how big the array is. I shouldn't use more memory as the array gets larger. Custom judge. We'll test with following code. Nums, val. This might be a duplicate. I'm pretty sure I've done this one, but let's see what happens. If all assertions pass, then your solution will be accepted. Nums 3223, val 3. So then, okay, yep, 22. Sure, return k equals 2, with the first two elements of nums being 2. It does not matter what you leave behind. Return. Okay, so we're just going to go through there and essentially splice those out. So we want to get rid of all the 2s. So cool, you could stay, that's got to go, that's got to go. So this 3 would go there, 0 would go there, 4 would go there, 2, or 1, 2. Yeah, so just going to make those disappear. And then the new array would be this part right there. Okay, your function return k equals 5. Can be returned in any order. Okay. Does not matter what you leave beyond the returned k, hence they are underscores. And then the constraints. So the array, the nums array is going to be between 0 and 100. An individual element within the array is going to be between 0 and 50. And the val is going to be between 0 and 100. That's interesting. I wonder why it wouldn't also be 50. All right, I'm not going to think about it too much right now. All right, so let's move this over. Actually, I'm going to put this down here. Add source, remove element. Add README. Okay, so get that. All right, so now I can get started on this. All right, so let's add the test cases. So for now, I'm just going to return 81. Describe. Okay, how many test cases do we have? I think we just have 2. I'm going to bring these over here. Get rid of that for now. Hit 2 of those. Let's grab this function. Returns 2, except this one's 5. When nums. So I'll just grab that whole thing. Okay, so const nums equals. And how good is my cool? Let's paste that in there. Const val equals that. Const actual result equals remove element. So signature nums then val. Okay. Nums const expected result. Well, so this one's going to be 5. And so expect actual result that to equal expected result. Okay. Make sure these match. 2, 2, 3, 3. Oh yeah, we want to get rid of 2, and it should return 5. Okay. I think I can get rid of that, and then now we can actually start running these. So add failing tests. Actually, let's make sure that they're run. So I think npm. I think that it's still just the default test script. I think it from React, create React app. I think it runs in test watch mode by default. So npm run test. Okay, yep. And so looks like it's so I'll take P to filter, remove. Oh, I think the difference here is, yeah, so there's another remove duplicates from a sorted array. Okay, so it's similar, but here it just wants to get rid of duplicates. So it basically wants a set, whereas in this one, we only want to return a specific value. But because I've already solved it, I'm going to allow myself to look at my old code. So let's see what we have. Remove duplicates. All right, so how did I go about doing this? So I have my result, which is what I return, right, which is a number. So I start keeping track of index. I start at a 0. Oh yeah, because we're always going to want the first one because it's sorted. So we're going to go through the length of the array. We're going to increment it. So I'm going to define these variables. This is what I did previously. So I had a next and a current. So I looked at. So this is the next one. This is the current one. I checked to see if those values were the same to determine if I should splice it. If I should, right? So I spliced it at that index 1 with the next value. So I just kind of move that value over. And then I incremented my index to be updated, and I incremented my result. So I wonder if there's going to be any kind of similarities here. I'm just going to put this on the right for now. So in this case, it seems like the biggest thing is the should splice, right? That will be different because in this one, it was just saying like if they're duplicates, right? This one, we don't care about duplicates in general. We just care about if it's this value. So I'm going to try following the same pattern and see how far that gets us. And let's just make sure return k after. Okay, so let result equals 0, return result. There we can see that runs. Yep. Let index to be updated. Am I using length anywhere else? No. Or did I do that because I guess I wasn't mutating the length. Okay. I equals 0, I is less than nums dot length I plus plus. Okay. Let's do the same thing. I might switch up these orders though. Current next equals nums I plus 1. If current equals val. And what? There's no way. It would be like the fastest I've ever done it. I guess when it is so similar. Well, I mean, let's try it. I guess let's go plug it into code or into LeetCode. Oh, no. And let's run it. I'll shrink that a little bit. Okay, so it's that's because, all right, so it's, I get it. I don't have this custom judge in here. All right, so in this case, I would need to update my assertion. Expect actual result bracket 0 dot to equal 2, right? Oh, all right, no, I guess it'd be nums, right? Got it. Excuse me. That makes sense. Okay, I knew it was too good to be true. Expect nums 2, 3, 4 0, 1, 3. So I guess I could just say expect. Yeah, I guess this works. Okay. So I couldn't. Whoops. Looks like I forgot to commit that. Let's see if I can just do a patch. What? All right, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that out of there. Just put this down here for now out of the way. 81. Okay, let's look at the get log. Add failing tests. Okay. Now I can go grab this implementation, put this back here, move that back up there. Okay. So I guess just let's console.log nums. Actually, I'll do, let's try this const rows equals. And yes, nums for actually equals nums there. This is more for, so I'm just gonna make a copy of this. After, and then let's try this nums before and after, and we'll just say, that's how you spell push. Rows dot push row table rows. Let's see how that goes. Oh, cool. Except that's not my favorite. So let's try this. Nums before, nums after. That's pretty cool. Wish I could see more of the contents of those arrays, but that's all right. All right. I guess I could just join it. Oh, it's going to be one string. Yep. I guess I have to do that. Okay, that'll work. Dot join. Yeah, so you can see I'm not actually. Am I not actually splicing? Oh, let's see your current. Yes, that's okay. So when should we splice? Yes, when can we splice? When are we able to splice? So as soon as we find something that we want gone, we can remove it. So we just need to know which index to put it at. All right, so this is something, so we can start at 0 there. Yep. So we should splice whenever we, so whenever we find an element to remove, so we know, we could say which one to remove, so we could, all right, so if current equals val, and so we have the next, so 2, so, right, so this one looks good. So 3, 2 should splice. So I should take that and put that there, which we did, right? So this comes down here, should leave it. So I think the problem there is we're still keeping this. So I'm now adding them, right? So 3, 2 should be unchanged, right? Should be unchanged. This one. So let's add our index to be updated to our row. So it looks like I have a bug right there. Right, so it's working up until this point. Right. Oh, and then I guess if it's just the last one, we just do nothing. -1. So then const is last index. I'll just say all right, so let's just add this here. So we should always place it as last index. And for this test case anyway, and not Hmm. All right, so maybe that's not the right case. So move that, and so we're not, I guess maybe I should put something in there for, do we say the constraints are these things won't be more than 100? Okay, cool, so that means we can use, I'll just insert another number in there. So instead of next, I'll just say 81. Right, 3. Oh, okay, so I think what I need to do is right, so 3. Yep, so put that there. Okay, so if current equals val, then we want to do this. And so then, right, so if current is 81, okay, so if it's 81, I guess this is and equals 81 else right, so this is saying, so if current equals val, right, so current equals val, that's what we want to do, that's what we want to do. Yep, so this comes down here. Current, right, becomes 81, that does not equal val. All right, so let's go ahead and add this if. So then we want to see if next equals val. Then what we want to do is splice I don't have this else handled. Let's see here. Oh, well, let's just, all right, so let's get, okay, so that's working predictably. Yeah, so if current equals val, that's what I'm doing. So then current doesn't equal val, cool. So what do we do? Also, what do we have access to? We have access to next. So if we can look at next, so basically we want to splice else. All right, so nums splice, I guess just one. Let's see what that does. This would go back to being 2. Oh, I think I created an infinite loop. I believe I created an infinite loop. Yep. If nums dot length is greater than 100, created an infinite loop and can run test. Okay. And let's shrink this a little bit. Hopefully this one's easier to read. No infinite loop at the moment. How did I create that? This was set to 1. Let's try that, see what happens. Oh yeah, it makes sense because I'm removing 1 and adding 2. That makes sense. Cool. And I guess I could just leave those. So, okay, so if I'm still splicing here, which is here 22813, this is fine. So I don't like having nested ifs, but in this case, so we splice. There's an if current equals. Nope, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so there we go. I guess at this point here, I guess we could just have last element all our, let's try that. So we're doing the same thing there. So if is last, let's see what this gets us. Nope. So that looks like, let's see why it failed. Oh, I think I might be modifying this. The index to be updated unnecessarily. Well, not necessarily. It's, I guess it's just kind of creeping up by 1. And I guess say console.log result. So my results off by 2. So I think if I were to comment this out. Okay, so it seems like I have an off by 1 problem. If it's the last index, so if it's not, let's try this. Oh, well, what if we do this? Good job, Pass Bill, doing the infinite loop protection. All right, so what's the problem? So I'm incrementing my result variable 1 too many times. I'm only doing it there. I don't understand that. Oh, if this is, got it. Because I was looking at the current index, not that. Const current index equals I, const next index equals I plus 1. I don't know if I'll actually keep that. But, if equals I guess if it doesn't, that's when we want to do this. Okay, so that fixed one of the test cases, it seems like. But I still have the same problem here. Am I ending up with the correct array? I wonder if I'm getting rid of the 0, but I don't know why. I'm checking. Current, yeah. Index to be updated. Yeah, so val2. Okay, so in this case, I'm splicing, and I shouldn't be. Actually, this seems like a good place to stop or to commit, right? Add solution that passes test 1. And work in progress. solution. I like to view commits like checkpoints in a video game. I also like to treat them like they are cheap. They're essentially free. It's not technically true in every case, but it takes a while before the cost of the commit becomes significant. All right, so I'm still splicing even though I shouldn't, because this is happening in else, right? So I'm always splicing there. So I'm definitely going to break this other one. This one's just a symptom of being oversimplified. So really, this should be right. So this fall. Let's see what happens. What if I get rid of that? Oh, well, I'm just going to get that back to what I went too far. So this is where like, oh yeah, so that's just cool. Oh, because it already changes. That makes sense. Okay. All right, and it's 11:04. I forget exactly what time I started. I wonder if Zoom will tell me. That doesn't matter. All right, I'll say I'll give myself till like 11:30, 26 minutes. I feel like I'm taking longer with this one than I should, but I'm not stressed about it, which is nice. All right, so we can think about this. So one thing I'll do is I'm just going to throw a dot only on this one for now. And so I can make assertions, right? Like much like I'm kind of doing with that table, I can actually just make assertions down here at different points. I think I have to move those assertions into a for loop, but let's see. What happens if I just put an assertion in the function body? I don't think it'll work, but I'm curious to find out. True to equal. Cool. Well, that's good to know. Oh, we didn't even get to the. Okay. So anyway, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I'm gonna try and just hard code these indexes. So like, so right in row 1, should splice should be false, right? Oh. Expected. So 2. Actually, I'm gonna move these down here where I can see. I can see all right. I'm looking at these two. No, I'm looking. Can I splice anything in this on I0? Can I splice anything on I1? Yep. True. 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 False. False. Oh. False. False. True. True. False. False. So I can use some additional memory right now while all right, this is gonna be weird, but let's see here. Const should splice values dot push should splice. I will return result. Oh, it's not gonna. TypeScript doesn't want me to do anything goofy. And I can change the type. So for now, I'm just going to change it to any, and I'll put it back later. Result. And should splice values. Oh, that's inside the for loop. That makes sense. Let's get that up there. Thank you, Winter. All right, expect actual result. Dot result. Remove element returns an object. There we go. Expect actual result dot to equal And where's it failing? What if I do this? What if I do this? What did I do? Oh, actual result of that. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Yep, gotta move that off of there. I'm having trouble reading this. I think I've gone down a rabbit hole. All right. Just array matchers. To contain, yes, 2 equals the way to go. Okay, I tried. Let's see here, 1113. I have gone. All right, well, let's just throw all that away. It's better than digging. Is it best thing to do if you're in a hole is to stop digging? All right, so dot only passes, but we already know there's a bug. Dot only. So we have another off by 1 problem. Make sure 0. Yeah, so you can see we're splicing when we're not supposed to. So let's change this up. So let's just say let's log the original nums also. Right, original nums before. Right, so that should not. guess I'll just add the value in it too. Oops, that's getting too long. So I get rid of that. That makes it a little bit easier to read. All right. All right, so what am I doing wrong? Am I doing splicing when should splice is false. Increment. What am I definitely doing wrong? Incrementing the index to be updated. So those two things seem to corroborate that there's something wrong with my if logic. So let's change this to if should splice. Let's see what happens. Else. So one. So in reality, this should become 0181. Currents too. Yeah, I should be splicing now. But what am I saying? Right, so this should go from 0122 here to 0181 to splicing. So 81's got to go first, and then the next. So it's just going to shift everything over. Done. One. So if it's equal to 81, then I always want to shift everything. Equals 81. That doesn't seem that different. Okay, so we have a bug here, right? So this is correct. That's the original. Yep. 0, 1, 81. So this should become let's see here. So if this is 81, 23042. Yep, so we get here, like that's 2. All right, let's grab the next value. Let's put 81 here. Well, actually, let's. I guess I could do it using 3 variables, like current, next, value after next. Let's try and finish this thought process. 0, 1. So maybe I was correct before, where so instead of yes, I guess I'll put the 81 there until I know what to put then. So this should then say 0, 1, 81. I think I need to do that, right? Because if I wanted to shift everything over, so this would say 81. Well, then I have to shift the whole thing. So I should. Okay, let's think about this. When should I splice? When should I definitely splice? When should I definitely splice? When current, definitely don't splice that. When should I definitely splice? When current and next doesn't equal val. Definitely want to splice that. Excuse me. So if it's, would you want to splice in the last index? No, because in the last index, you shouldn't be mutating the array anymore. I mean, like at that point, at the last index, you should kind of have an idea. Since you're not splicing it. Because you'd already have the front of the array would already have what it's supposed to have. So if the last element is the value, then do nothing. Just resume chat again. I thought this one was so simple over here. And it's funny because I can feel that I'm close to the solution. I just haven't gotten there yet. But that's okay. Let's see here. I'll just let myself into the room. Close this door real quick. Okay. I'm approaching 11:30, but I don't feel like stopping just yet, so I might try and press out a little longer. Right, so I'm going through here. I don't have to do anything, right? Basically just update the index. Yeah, might comment some stuff out. Before index. Yeah, so I want to try and log what it is at the start, and then what it is at the end. Yeah, because that's just equal to I, or just I plus 1. Right, so I go through here. Oh yeah, we're just walking right past. I guess it's right. So when we get here, we're like, okay, cool. Can't have that. But do we know what to put there yet? So technically, right, like without looking ahead, right, because we can see those. I guess what we can just do is we just say, maybe that's what I should do, is just try and build up like nums incrementally. While I just kind of validate my solution. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, I'll leave those there for now. Oh, fortunately, I have everything in Git, so that's cool. Does this still run after? Yep, that's what I thought. This is the challenge of not using extra or in place, right? So I said. Or if I wanted to do this, actually, I suppose this is kind of good to think about. But if I wanted to do this with no extra, or with extra memory, I could just say like extra nums. I'm just gonna call this no. Answer array. Okay, so then that makes sense. Join. Right, so here, so when I push into it. What is this? Oh yeah, that's fine. As yes. It'll just be in. Oh, that's how you spell number. All right, so when I push it into the array, should push equals. If should push then answer array dot push current. Right, so that's what we want to get to. Or do we? So do we always push? Right, so that's right, I can't use extra memory. I mean, like an actual finished answer. 11, 4, 34. Oh geez, I hope I don't have to push till midnight. But still feeling pretty good, so let's keep going. So if I want to revisit, so I'm going to delete these comments. I don't think I've ever used that. Nums isn't changing. So let's see what I have here. So that's if I choose not to push. But I don't think I have that option, so I think this should go. So instead of that, I should be pushing 81. Let's try that. So const value to push equals if that's true, then current otherwise 81. And so I'm going to do this every time. Right, so we're going to push every time. I guess we don't even need that index to be updated. Might not. Because right now it's just, I guess now it's not changing at all. Right, so this kind of gets us back to the when should we splice? Right. So this is what we should push in there. But this information, but no, we don't know what to splice into there. So if we get here, this is where I think the index to update comes in. So we only want to mutate that index to update once we know. I'm going to write that down. Only increment the variable when we know what to put at after we've updated current. So to put that in one splice to okay, we can do that. All right, so we're not using should splice. I'm not using should push. Okay, so let's bring back should splice equals right. It's 81. We don't know 3. Okay, splice that equals current. So current doesn't equal val, or current doesn't equal 81. Let's bring back let's bring back should splice, but let's put it right there. Oh, let's should not splice. That makes sense. So we shouldn't splice when the current equals. Should not splice. Excuse me. but we might not know what to splice. So if maybe instead of, I guess it doesn't really matter whether I start at 0, whether I look like 1 forward or 1 back. If should not splice, else. All right. Do nothing. Splice. Const instruction. This is ridiculous debugging, but it's kind of fun. But we don't know what to splice with. So I splice 81 there. Wait, the only time it's ever going to be 81 is if it's bad. So it's kind of like, so there's like marking them such. So sometimes we can mark whatever. I was like, get out of here. Like, but we only update. We only increment the index to update when we splice. And we don't know what to splice with until we get to the next valid character. Okay, so we know what to splice when we get to a valid number. We can't splice until we have a valid number. Okay. So I guess I really don't need to I mean, they said it doesn't, like, I guess I really don't need to actually do like the splicing and the marking, because I just need I really just need that pointer, right? Like this right here. So I just need to keep track of which index. So as I go through, okay, there. So all right. All right, so maybe initializing it to 0 is the wrong call. Maybe I should initialize it to something else and only set it. I think that makes sense, right? We essentially update that value I guess what's the harm of leaving it initialized at 0? Because then whenever it comes, well, I guess as we go through, we just and so we check this value. If right, we're not going to splice it if it doesn't match. Cool. So then we just say at the end of the loop. All right, cool. Yeah. So check it if it matches. Write it down. Keep track of it. Or sorry, if it's invalid, maybe I should change the way I think about this. Const is invalid equals current equals val. And I'm gonna have some errors because I'm referencing variables that don't exist anymore. Let's try that. Okay, so if it's invalid, what do we do? So if it's valid, we just keep going like yeah. I don't. What do I need to splice up? I need to know what to splice and where to splice it. So I guess for each kind of iteration, each in this loop, right, I should ask myself, do I have everything that I need, or that I would need to splice, right? Do I know what I would splice, and do I know where I would splice it? Right, so if the answer is like that, if the answer is can I splice, so right, then you obviously can't splice, so just keep going. All right, so let's try this again. For each index, ask all right, so let's see if we can do that. And say that's that. TypeScript's gonna help me somewhere, I imagine. It's invalid. If it's valid, right? So then you could say current. Otherwise, it's gonna be null, right? Const can and that makes sense because we're never changing those things. That makes Okay. If I can splice, can I, should I? All right, so to go back to this example, all right, so I should perform a splice right here. Like, all right, cool. So I'll take current index to be updated. If I can splice, if is invalid and index equals null, then equals, oh, nope. Cool, look at that. All right, I feel pretty good about this. I know we got 6 minutes left before I gave that 12 o'clock cutoff, but let's see what happens. All right, so if it's invalid and there is no index to be updated, then we just set it the first time. And then after that, we'll update it after each splice. Okay, so then should I splice? All right, so actually let's try and head in right there. Get rid of that answer. All right, I'm not using that at the moment. Actually, all right, so as soon as I can splice, so I think if I can splice, I think I should, right? So then we'll say nums dot splice start, so index to be updated 1 current. TypeScript, why do you hate me? I still have nums around. It's getting a little bit more difficult to see, but that's all right. I'm gonna get rid of that. Did I not actually do anything? Where's nums after? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. Oh, there you go. Index to be updated. Because it doesn't necessarily work because what happens if they're not side by side. Well, let's just see what happens. We just increment this here. Yep, that's what I suspected. All right, so I think I found where this kind of approach breaks. Right, because here, as you can see here, sweet, so I did that. But I guess if I just splice, just swap the currents. I might be dumb. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. If I can splice, then we'll say high 1. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see here. Let me see if I can kind of diagram what I'm thinking here. Also, I'm over the 12 o'clock mark, so. So this would become, right, so it'd be unchanged. we do a swap here, should be unchanged, I guess. Yeah. So here, these two would swap. Well, we saw this rogue one there. This is a good test data set. I see why they picked this test data set. All right. Now I'm feeling like I'm running out of steam. It's 12:02. Give it like another 13 minutes. I still feel like I got really close. And for all I know, it's probably like maybe one line of code or like, you know, just inverting some code from having it working, but that's why it's a puzzle. Sometimes it's one of the things I liked about using GitHub, right? So I can see everything I tried. I can also just throw it all away. All right, so if I think if I just do this, you remember however long ago when I had one test passing? Oh, those are the good old days. Ah, that's nice, spelled out only. Right, so I can see here right away that I was splicing when I should. So maybe we could take some of the stuff that we used before. I guess we could almost keep track of like a balance, right? Just like a, hey, there's how many splices that we have, and as long as that balance is positive, then we don't update the index to be updated variable. Sounds complex, but worth a shot. Obviously, everything I've done before or up until this point hasn't worked. All right, let's see here. Let's throw that away. I'm going to, I'll just get rid of it. I can always add it back when I need it. How many of is last index? Nope, so you can see how this never updates, if that makes sense. Let has needs to be spliced. Might end up adding back those same variables from before. So here needs to be spliced. Obviously, that's not correct. Those can't all be false. If const is valid equals current doesn't equal val, const is invalid equals not is valid. Current time. If if is invalid, then needs to be spliced. All right, yes. Count of splices needed. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so that works. All right, so if that count is 0, then there's nothing to splice. And so then we can just let the index keep updating. All right. If that's true, if it's not true, so if it's not true, or if it's 0, I would just say cool. So that works. So we have the index. We don't know what to put in it yet. So if there's a balance and there's I wonder why I initialize that to 1. Oh, that's because I'm logging it after I increment. That makes sense. Right. So if there's a balance, then there's always going to be an index to be updated, but invalid, then we'll say nums dot index to be updated. Oh, that's might need to go before. If it's both, so then one, another one is placed in there. Wait, if it's, and it's valid, right? Hmm. Countless places needed. But I still can't place it. It's valid. What? Oh, no, next update is wrong. That is not correct. That is placed to the wrong spot. Okay, so if I when does this go up? Yes, you know that. Okay. I don't understand why. Oh, well, okay, so next. If it's invalid, seems like I should keep track of this one. That's what I say. I have I to keep track of which iteration I'm in. But I only need. It seems like this approach with just the one variable that I'm stuck in this circumstance where I lose track of the number of times. But I guess that's what I'm trying to do with this balance, right? So it's like if I say, nope, I have one more splice to do. The last index was at 2, then. All right, well, let's see. All right, so if I can splice, I guess I would say you have to decrease the count, right? Because it's a balance. Okay, yeah. So index to be updated isn't doing anything. So you definitely don't want to do that all the time. I guess just equals I. All right, so let's go through this. So if it's invalid, so the first thing I'm going to do is say, all right, okay, write that down. Before I do anything, write down which index we got to change. The first index we got to change. Right, and then I guess you still increment the count, right? So you'd say like, right, what needs to change and how many changes do we have left? And then so then if you can splice, I guess no. All right, so this is where, as you can see, that's happening. Looks like I have an off by 1 there. Yeah, so it needs to be updated. If it needs that, then we should leave it be. Otherwise, oh, what was this before? Okay. Cool. All right, so then 0. Oh, shit. Splice. 32. So this is where I messed up. 1, 3, 2, 3. Because I didn't actually replace it with anything. Wonder. Yeah, I guess I just put negatives in there. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm running out of steam. I don't think I've said any words in a few minutes. Whoops. But that's okay. All right. So everything seems to be going normal here. All right, normal here, because we don't know what's in here. Cool. I'll put that there. Okay, instead of putting that, just put value. That did not work. It worked for a little bit. Um, all right, so that went down by 1. Somewhere here, so current is 0. Oh, we still have some work to do. So that works. Oh, that's just because I just did a clean swap. All right, yeah. I mean, I'm getting sleepy. So thank you for bearing with me. I'm sure this was painful. There were so many times where I felt like I was right there and I didn't get it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those things where I think about it and, like, they say use the term shower thoughts. You can figure it out when you're not really trying to. I could totally see this being one of those. Like, a lot of times I'll think about this stuff when I'm walking the dog. And even if I don't want to be, I might be trying to be mindful and spending time with the dog. But my brain is like, oh, I bet I was forgetting to increment something. But cool. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a good night. Adios.